Good morning and
Good morning.
happy Wednesday. How lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm well, Lilia. How are you?
I fantastic. Yeah, the sun's out. I mean, it's freezing, but the sun's out, so that's usually enough to keep me happy. So bright, the water's so crystal clear. So yeah, so for everybody that's tuning in to join us today, I don't think our darling Aga needs a lot of introduction. I know a lot of you have heard of it and been to her incredible sound baths. Aga and I met years ago, and I've just watched your journey flourish and expand and just become this amazing, beautiful brand. And I'm just so delighted to have you come into the Goddess Gathering. It's very special to me. So thank you for that. And I need to tell for again everyone that Aga's going to be at the Glasgow Goddess Gathering.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sound, because for me that's what everything is about right now. Being a music lover all my life, and I think in terms of healing, we're always looking to do things that are difficult and hard and things that we don't want to do and giving up all the things that we like to do. But when it comes to sound, there's just none of that really, is there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there may be
No.
sounds that stir things up, but in general, most of us can just lie and receive the sounds. And I know that the science that's coming out around about it is, is pretty much blowing everybody's mind as well as to how powerful sound is when it interacts with the human body, which is, as we know, a musical instrument anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Can
Yeah.
you, first of all, just tell us how you got into that, how you get into sound healing?
Yeah, it's interesting because somebody asked me this just last weekend. And really, there is not a long story there. I just heard a singing bowl and the first time, and I immediately knew how to play it. It was just like almost like an immediate awakening to, oh, I think, I didn't know what a sound healer was at the time, but I was like, I think I can play it, like that. Um, so yeah, and then like throughout my journey, I would dream or remember about my past lives in Egypt and Atlantis, and the sounds would just come up in so many different ways, like through me and from the outside. And we all kind of feel sound because even the sound of somebody's voice can make us feel at ease, or oh, I really kind of don't resonate with this voice or with this sound. So we all are resonant with sound healing, and we all are sound healers. It's just that some of us, including myself, have trained in that a little bit more throughout lifetimes. Yeah, this is how my
It's
story
interesting
goes.
you should say that about the very first time you heard the crystal ball. That's how I ended up moving to Malta, because
Oh, wow.
I was in Excel in London at Salon International, and I heard somebody playing a singing bowl, and I was like, "What's that noise? What's that sound?"
Wow.
It just drew me over, and there was this girl, and she was running a course in Malta, and that's how I ended up going to Malta. So that was it was sound that drew me to that. So that's interesting that you had a similar experience of like a knowingness. That there's just it wakes something in you. I just love it. In
That's
fact, I
right.
think I love the bowls more even than I love the gongs. There's just something about the singing bowls that just I don't know. I just love them.
Yeah.
So
And
would you like?
it's
Because I know that you're now you obviously you've got lots of workshops in Glasgow, and you're running retreats as well. Are you still running retreats?
I haven't run them for a while. Ever since lockdown, things have been changing for a lot of people. But my heart is craving retreats recently. And I see a lot of people putting up retreats as well. And it just seems to be the thing of the now. People coming together in communities, doing all sorts of healing things, but even just interacting with each other, even just being with each other. That's why your work is so amazing because you bring all these people together no matter what the subject is, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you
Um,
can see it. There's groups of people getting together, whether it's into the cold water, whether it's round a bonfire, whether it's women's circles, whether it's men's circles. It's happening all over the world, where and it's almost like, isn't it, the breakdown of the old ways. The human spirit's always going to find a way. I mean, where I can't think,
mm,
that we ever doubt what's inside each one of us in terms of spirit. And even if you felt, like overwhelmed by everything that happened in, the last 3 years, I know it was challenging for everyone, well, since 2020. But, I think people are now starting to go, well, we can either stay in the house forever or we can start looking for ways to get back into our communities. And
yeah.
there's so many different ways to do it.
Mm,
And the main thing is just the community.
that's right. Yeah. So like, I actually, so last weekend I was just in Clovelin. I think this is how it's pronounced. I still don't know. It's close to Fort William. And there was this little barn, and this lady just guides yoga classes there, but she also brings in these amazing healers for workshops. And it's like they have this little community, like in a tiny place, and people come.
Of course they do.
So yeah, it's just like the people coming together. I mean, for me, of course, like physical contact is important, but even online, how we are coming right now together, it's like it feeds the heart, it feeds the soul, you know, it expands your energy.
And I think, much as we know that actually meeting up in person is the ultimate way to communicate and connect, but also these kind of things that allow you to connect with people that you've met throughout the years and that you would love to spend more time with, but just demographics,
Mm,
and life gets busy, doesn't it? So there's obviously a negative side to social media, but there's also a real positive side as well. And I was talking in my live this morning about the polarities. We can't have this extreme without having that extreme. And anything good can be used for either good or bad. And that's sadly, I was down in London seeing the ABBA hologram. Have you been to that yet?
no.
Oh my God, it's mind blowing. It's just like, I mean, I love ABBA anyway. The sound just went right through your body. And I mean, it was like they were there.
Mm,
And it's a holographic, it's AI, but it's still incredible. And I thought, wow, that's the positive use and human spirit. Who thought about building a place and bringing ABBA to life? It's so cool and so
mm,
fun. And everybody was just on this high, just with the music. And it's you've got to remember that both things can be used. It's not all negative and it's not all positive. It's trying always to get the balance. And I
yeah,
think the big
yeah.
thing recently, isn't it? It's about, well, we've just seen the biggest wealth um, heist in human history. It's like, are people thinking about the collective or are they thinking about themselves? And I think
Mm,
that's the amazing thing about sound, is when you're lying there and you're receiving, everybody in the room is like one,
yep.
and everybody
Mm,
wants, everybody has that collective intention, don't they? And that's, I think, the part that people find difficult to trust, that how powerful we are when we come together and how unstoppable we are
mm,
when we come together. Um,
yeah.
could you talk to a little bit around the science of the sound healing, please?
Yeah, yeah. So at my classes, it's interesting because I have people coming from all walks of life, and not everybody is interested in spirituality. And I always find that when it comes to explaining something, we do need to engage the mind because it kind of brings us on board. You know, it doesn't resist whatever the energy is feeling. So I always explain it. First of all, realize that we are all energy. So we know that our bodies are built of muscles and organs and and, bones. And all of these are built out of cells, and the cells are made out of atoms. And then there's the smaller and smaller and smaller particles. And, scientists are trying to figure out the smallest God particle. Every time it's like, it's even the smallest, this is the God particle, right? But, they will never get to the tiniest one, because at the very core of that particle is pure energy, is pure source. So if we think of ourselves and even our physical bodies in terms of pure energy, this is what we are. And what sound is just the movement of molecules through the air, and we pick it up with our physical ears so that we can hear and understand words, for instance, but we can also understand vibration, right? Because our bodies are these energy factories, and it's the same for sound. I mean, sound can physically move things. Like, we know, I mean, have you ever been to a huge disco and stood right to like a huge speaker?
Yes,
Yeah,
my
you
favorite
can,
place.
is it? So you must love drumming as well.
Yes, absolutely. And the louder
Yeah,
the love that when it goes through your whole body.
that's
It's
right. So
amazing.
this is the kind of sound you can feel, right? Actually, physically, you can feel that. Well, so that means that the sound actually is energy, because it is vibration, it is color, it is the movement of the air molecules. And what moves the air is the energy. Yes, so it's interaction of the molecules, and that causes the change in vibration. So that is also important to understand, that sound affects things as it changes its environment. And because sound is energy, and we are energy, even physically, and we know that energy affects energy, that's pretty logical, then it means sound can affect us, even on the physical level. And we already know that sound really moves us emotionally as well. We all get emotional at times. So when we hear like a song that is, maybe from our past, maybe from great times, maybe from sad times, and, it brings up the emotions, it brings up the memories. So everything lives within us. It's like we are this living body, living being, and we are not separate from our environment. We know this. Scientists tell us that we don't even sit physically on our chairs or floors, but we're floating. That's because there's this exchange of molecules all the time. And it is the same with sound. It's the same way that the infrared sauna will work on us, right? If you go to a sunning bed, it will cause your skin to become brown. And that's because just the UV light affects your skin, and then it produces, the browning agents. um, so yeah, so we are affected by sound. So if we are affected by sound, when in particular when there is an intention behind the sound, it's like that energy and that power of sound is used in a certain way. So you use the words, and I know that you work with intention a lot, Lilia. And it's the intention and the energy that counts the most for like my sound healing practice. So this is how I explain sound actually affects us. It affects us physically. It causes a physical detox in the body, but it also acts on our emotions. It changes our brain structure. I felt people brains just change, like neural pathways, making new bridges. So new patterns of being can be developed. So, and of course, energy. the energy field, the aura is affected. We can clear lots of stuff. And as you say, all of this is done just by surrendering, by letting go, by relaxing.
Why is that so hard? We've
Yeah.
just we're so unable to trust even our own bodies nowadays, that this surrender thing is just really, it's almost like counterintuitive, isn't it? It's like, come on, just loosen your grip a little bit, honestly, save some of that really valuable energy, just let go and let the divine and the sound.
Mm.
There is that level of how much are we allowing? We've got free will, much as we're never really using it that much because we're so busy. But when we utilize that free will to actually surrender to the music, to the intention, to the unknown,
Mm.
Joe Dispenza always talks about get very comfortable with the unknown. But I think our kind of innate need for security makes it quite difficult for us to surrender completely.
Mm.
And you know, the other word that came up, myself and my friend Di, when I did a course with an American DJ called Inner Dance, which you would love. I will definitely hook up with you in Glasgow and let you experience it.
Getting goosebumps.
Yeah, she layers the music to change the brain frequency deliberately to get you into theta where a lot of the trauma will, can be released. And like we know if you can explain something to conscious minds, they're more likely to believe it or accept it. But this really wasn't that. My
Mhm.
conscious mind was like, what's happening there? What happened there? What happened there? Just witness and that's another great word for just like unattached observer. Just witness how the brain waves were changing. Again, you lie down, you're not doing anything.
Mm.
The dance is literally an inner dance. And wow, I think as the human doings that we are in the West, the human being, it's challenging for us to just not be guided, not be told, just to witness how the body
Mm.
interacts with the different frequencies. It's
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
And
cool.
sorry, it's interesting because Tibetan monks call the singing bowls like the clearers of the mind. It's like when you hear a singing bowl and as you continue to listen to it, it's like the mind becomes empty. So this is the power of the sound as well. It's almost like, especially when there are no words involved, it's like you said, it's like, what is happening? Like the mind doesn't know, but the body, the energy, all of you feels that there is something happening, but the mind doesn't know. And so when it doesn't know, it kind of doesn't resist it because there is no particular subject to resist.
There's no
That's why I
concept.
love the sound.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I love about breath work. You're not asking people, you're saying breathe in, breathe out, maybe do it a little bit faster or slower. But when you take the language out as much as possible, the words, which can be helpful now and again, then and just get into the body and get into that rhythm. It's and
Mm,
we all have the capacity to do it. But also,
yeah.
I think the thing that's really powerful is doing it with a group. We were designed to do things in community as humans, and that's where our true power is. When people have these experiences together, there is that element, isn't there, of the brains are synchronized, the cells are mimicking each other, the hearts are, we're going into coherence with each other, and people can feel that. And I think when you get that experience, that is when you're like, oh, that's cool.
That's right.
Because when
Actually,
people,
I have a suggestion, if you
uh-huh,
don't mind, Julia. So I suggest that we kind of do a bit of chanting, just a little bit,
uh-huh,
maybe 3 times, 3 sounds.
uh-huh,
And I know that this is kind of like you only hear one of us at a time,
uh-huh,
but I invite everybody who's listening to it at any point just to do this with us.
Uh,
And this is already a group of three coming together, you
yes.
know. And well, at least they'll hear two voices, one of ours, because, you know, it's just one at a time, and theirs. So there is already a feeling of community and chanting together, even if there are just two or three people. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll just guide it. So if you want to just close your eyes, just close your eyes, and if you like, you can put your hands in the center of your chest and feel like your breath is going in through your hands, through your palms, into your heart, and out through the back. It's to activate the heart center. And then take a deep breath, and on the next out breath, just sound the sound of your heart. Oh. And two more. Oh. And then just feel that expansion. Feel the expansion. And then open your eyes.
I love chanting.
I bet you do, Lilia.
And I think, the the idea of the microtubules running through the cells like a three-dimensional harp. I always just see the whole orchestra going, ah, if you've ever sung in a choir, that deep resonance you get, I just love it.
And you can do all kinds of exercises like this, even just using words. For instance, I open my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just feeling that expansion. So you can really use your own voice for balancing your body. Mm.
Yes, I mean, humming and chanting, I think I don't know why in the West we don't use our voice. It's like one person sings and we all listen, whereas in a community, you would all be, stomping round the fire and drumming, and everybody would be
Mhm.
utilizing the power of their voice. And again, another powerful way of letting go is, really moving the body and chanting at the same time. We've got enough science, which everybody seems to need and love, to show us bare feet stamping on the ground, singing, chanting, making a noise, drumming. So many benefits, scientifically proven
Mhm.
benefits around all of that. And yet,
Yeah,
if you saw people doing it over
absolutely.
in the front green over there, they would be like, look at these lunatics. We just don't have the understanding what's
Right.
actually happening. It's letting go. You're shaking all the rubbish out the body. It's obviously it's like putting your bin
Mm.
out.
Yeah, there are a
That's
lot of studies. For instance, recently I've been looking into pregnancy and birth giving. And, it's always been known that when there is music played during birth, for like, during the actual moments of birthing, the women are calmer and their cortisol levels go down. But this is kind of a new thing. I mean, women are very intuitive anyway, and they do things naturally. And, for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, we've been moaning and groaning and shouting and humming and singing during birth. So giving birth is one of those kind of situations when sound can be used, and it is very powerful. And doctors see physiological levels on the body, change. Like cortisol levels, like stress levels go down, anxiety. There is actual muscle relief. So muscles relax, apart from the ones that need to work, of course. But it's, we can use sound in so many different situations throughout our lives, not
Yeah, well,
even like
my
just
friend
to communicate.
had a very powerful hypnobirthing experience. From 30 weeks, she taught the body how to relax. And then when she went into labour, she was shouting at her husband, "Get that fucking CD on." It's back in the day of CDs. And he put the CD on, and the midwife said, if I hadn't seen that with my own two eyes, the body just went, right, this is what I do when I hear this. So
Mm,
she trained for 10 weeks to tell the body, calm, you can do this, you can do this. It's communication, isn't it?
yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
But
It's
again,
the
without
actual training. Yeah.
Mhm. So powerful. So tell us about coming to Glasgow. So obviously Glasgow's not until the 12th and 13th.
No, 18th, 19th.
Oh, sorry, my wild medicine retreats that weekend.
I bet you've got lots going on, Lilia. Yeah, I
So
know that.
tell me dates, 18th, 19th.
Yeah, that's right. So that's a Saturday and Sunday, right?
Saturday, Sunday
So,
in Glasgow. Yeah. So we have, well, Jennifer and Julie and myself are doing the Saturday. So that's where we really come in to the inner verse,
mm,
diving inside into, to really start listening to the communication, the systems that are doing their very, very best to regain and remain in harmony. And then and with protocols and techniques that people can use when they go home. And then
mm,
obviously you guys are coming in on the Sunday,
yeah,
and you're going to be there with so what are you going to be doing? Can you tell us?
yeah. So depends what I feel on the day because I always tune into the energy of the moment. But I'll definitely explain a little bit about sound, just an introduction. Then we'll have a sound bath, which is basically an experience when you're bathed in sound, in the sound of the singing bowls. But I also have a flute, I have koshi chimes, I have a gong. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, depending how strong I feel the energy is. And I do guide a relaxation because I find that people kind of get tense at the beginning, don't know what to expect. So I do guide a relaxation just of the body and then a little meditation. And then I leave everybody to just enjoy, go on their own journey, whatever they wish to do. And hopefully at the end, we'll have time for chanting together.
Nice.
And
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
will expand our energy even more, even
Ah,
more.
fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done a sound bath with you since the community.
And that
You
was
got
years
married.
ago.
You got married as well. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you, indeed.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Photographs looked absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. It was a crazy, typical Scottish day. Wind blowing like I've not seen it in this place. We laughed with Tony that it was clearing everybody's energy. So then we
Oh,
can have a great time after the ceremony.
uh-huh.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a great day. Thank you.
Please pass my
Yeah.
regards on to Tony as well. Right, fantastic. Well, listen, I think if anybody's there and would like to ask any questions, either now or later, just ping them into the box and we will get around to it. I just need to explain this goddess gathering's kind of like a mini retreat, really. We decided that it would be an experiential thing to really give people that experience, because what we're aiming for is that all the goddesses leave with a much stronger connection to their and trust of their intuition and their power. And that's really because we know the power within these electromagnetic fields. But and I know a lot of women know that that's there, but sometimes, you know, when things get tough, we forget how powerful we are. So this journey into the field of inner knowing is to really switch up the frequency and really get everybody connected into that inner power again, and the various ways that we're going to be doing that. So I'm very excited. I can't wait. I'm going to meet all these new amazing women as well. So thank you so much for being
thank you.
Part of it. I so appreciate you and your skills and your beautiful, beautiful face and energy. And I look forward to seeing you properly on the 18th. Okay,
we'll
darling.
Have a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Julia.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Ciao.